All right, guys, we've got ourselves a mini preview here for the Buffalo Bills, as well as our prediction for their season win total that is over under 10.5. And the over is 10.5, over is 10.5 at -134, under 10.5 at +110. Sean McDermott takes over the defense. Leslie Frazier leaves. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Ken Dorsey stays the offensive coordinator. Bit of a mixed bag last year. But we'll run through the roster really quick. Josh Allen, of course, quarterback. Played the last month and a half-ish, hurt. I don't know why that kind of got glossed over, but he was obviously injured. And never really got back to where it was, so we'll see if he can kick off the season well again. Offensive line that he's sitting behind, one of their biggest weaknesses, I would think. McGovern comes in for Saffold, but other than that, there's really nothing great on this offensive line. It's not terrible, but nothing great, and they're going to need good play out of that to keep Josh Allen upright. Wide receiver room, similar to last year. Diggs is obviously great. We'll see. Hopefully everything's okay there with him. Gabe Davis is okay, I suppose. Sherfield replaces McKenzie probably in that slot. There are a couple of decent, backup guys. Hardy's okay. Shakir's pretty good. But it's not a wow kind of wide receiver room, but it's got an elite player on it, and if the other players can step up, it'll be good enough. Tight end room, Dawson Knox just wasn't getting it done. Dalton Kincaid comes in, first-round pick. Good player, a position that we talk about all the time. It's difficult to come into the NFL and dominate at this position as a rookie. We'll see what happens with Kincaid, but they may move him around as well. He's a pretty good weapon. Running back room is okay. It's deep, but no one dominant. Damian Harris, James Cook, Nyheim Hines, Latavius Murray. It's just kind of a bunch of twos and no real alpha here in this room. But the way they run the ball, maybe they don't need one, and they may just kind of rotate along, give it to whoever has the hot hand as we go. But onto the defense, Sean McDermott, we were talking about, he's going to call plays here. Leslie Frazier had good game plans last year, but once they got figured out, he didn't know how to, make any adjustments. And we'll see if McDermott's a little bit better at that, or whatever happens here. It potentially good if he can make adjustments, potentially bad if he doesn't, because the defense will be very similar to what it was last year. It's good enough to play off bad teams, and when good teams come around, can't stop anybody. Defensive line, Von Miller will be back. If Von Miller stays healthy and he kind of returns to form, that is obviously great, and it'll definitely help. The rest of the defensive line's got some good players on it, good run stuffers and things, but pass rushing wise, they're not as good as you, like if you read them off on paper and you're like, oh, it's a good player. Pass rush wise, it's not that great outside of Von Miller, so Von Miller needs to stay healthy for the season. Linebacker loses Tremaine Edwards, and they don't really pick anyone up in that spot. They're kind of hoping that the rest of the team just kind of steps in. They're going to need to step in. Tremaine Edwards was a good player. Secondary, there are good players here. This is a good secondary on the surface. We say that, I'm going to say that a lot. With this team, it feels like on the surface, because the front five are good, or the starting five are good. Everything after that, not really that good. And, you're kind of one injury away from things going badly in a situation like that. And, there are players coming off some big injuries in this secondary as it is. So injury prone, one injury away is not a good combination. But once again, if they stay healthy, it's a good unit. So this reminds me a lot of that Rams team that won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. I don't think they're that level, but that was a team that was really thin, but they stayed healthy. And if you can stay healthy, it doesn't matter how thin you are, really, because the front guys are playing most of the time. So injury is going to play a ton here in Buffalo. Any injury almost anywhere could be really problematic. Injuries in the secondary are going to be problematic. The Josh Allen re-injury is a season killer. So it's one of those teams that's good on the surface. If they can stay healthy, they'll be very good. If they don't stay healthy, they're probably not going to be very good. It's as simple as that with the surface level of this football team. Now we can jump into the schedule. First half is pretty nice. You start off at the New York Jets. It's difficult. Las Vegas at home, at Washington, Miami at home, Jacksonville at home, Giants at home, at the Patriots, and Tampa Bay at home. So their first 8-ish. I mean, if they stayed healthy and went 8-0 here, I wouldn't be stunned. You get 2 division away games with New England and the Jets. They're winnable. It's not like you're going to go on the road here and be 7-point dogs. This is a winnable set of games. They'll be favorite, or they're favorite at least right now for the Jets game. I think they'll be slight favorites at New England as well, and they should be comfortable favorites in most of the other ones, maybe 3.5-ish for the Miami game, but comfortable in the other ones. Second half of the season, though, is where this gets really difficult. This is a really tough stretch to end the year. At Cincinnati, Denver, Jets, at Philly, and then you get your bye, then at KC, Dallas, at the Chargers, New England, at Miami. So there are no gimmies here. There are a couple gimmies at the front, you feel like. Las Vegas, Tampa Bay. As a Giants fan, I think they're going to run over us as well. Back end, there are no gimmies. This is all coin flips, it feels like, from front to back. You got to go at Philly, by at KC. That is insane. It's a really difficult back end of the schedule here, but we did over 11 or over 10.5. There's 7-1 on the front. You got to win 4 on the back. New England at home, Denver at home, they're winnable. The rest are all coin flips. So if you can take a couple coin flips in the back half, you're going to go over this total, or I feel they'll go over this total. And that's what we're predicting here. Bills over 10.5, minus 134. That is our pick for the Bills season win total. Let me know how you guys feel about the Buffalo Bills. And we'll be moving on tomorrow to a new team. We've done 4 already, and we'll continue on tomorrow.